Britain's new Chancellor of the Exchequer, Jeremy Hunt, has scrapped Prime Minister Liz Truss's economic plan and scaled back her vast energy support scheme. This historic U-turn is a way to try and stem a dramatic loss of investor confidence. Guy Henderson reports from London.
Well, the first significant act of Britain's new Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, in office has been to scrap many of the signature policies that his boss, the Prime Minister Liz Truss, had introduced in what has been barely a month for herself in number 10 Downing Street. Hunt, the Chancellor, said he was doing that in order to reassure very jittery markets here in the United Kingdom. He made an announcement earlier on Monday that he would be scrapping most of the £45 billion worth of unfunded tax cuts that were announced by his predecessor in a so-called mini-budget late in September, and that he would also be probably cutting short a very significant energy bill support scheme which had been due to run for 2 years. He'd made this announcement earlier in the day to try and prevent more market turmoil, but he outlined them in more detail to parliamentarians here in central London later on Monday. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
The central responsibility of any government is to do what is necessary for economic stability. Behind the decisions we take and the issues on which we vote are jobs families depend on, mortgages that have to be paid, savings for pensioners and businesses investing for the future. We are a country that funds our promises and pays our debts. And when that is questioned, as it has been, this government will take the difficult decisions necessary to ensure there is trust and confidence in our national finances.
Much of Chancellor Hunt's second statement was much the same as his one earlier in the day, but there was an important addition, which was that he really went out of his way to say a personal thanks to the Governor of the Bank of England, to the head of the government's independent budgetary watchdog. He even went as far as saying he was setting up an advisory board which would bring in members of the private sector to advise on government policy. That is a break with his predecessor and just goes to show how far the Chancellor is now willing to go to try and reassure markets. Guy Henderson, CGTN, London.